Well, good night to the good people of Rural East. And I want to say good night to all who have come out to this starting line rally. And I also want to reach out to the thousands who are joining us by radio and by the various social media platforms. Oh, what a lovely night it is. Oh, how wonderful it is to see all of you here tonight. But as you see, I move up in the batting order tonight. I move up in the batting order tonight. I want to thank everybody for the support that you gave us last week. Oh, that was a great meeting. And I just want to thank all of you who have been rallying with the United Progressive Party as we go around this country preaching the gospel of redemption. You know, today was the budget presentation, but I'm not dealing with that tonight. We're going to have time for that. But what I can say is that when you heard the throne speech, everybody say the throne speech was empty. And we can say that without contradiction. But when they hear the budget speech, they said the budget speech was full. Full of it. Full of the brown stuff. We heard a speech today. Empty plans. Ridiculous programs with no direction. Brothers and sisters, with all that he came with, we could tell you that with the promises that he came with, there's one basic thing that he lacks, and he can't ever get it. Credibility. Credibility. He can talk from now till next year. He can fool some of the people some of the time. But he can never fool all the people all the time. And I want him to know right now, the people of Antigua and Barbuda are completely fed up with Gaston Brown. But you notice he can't give no speech unless he have to sing out my name. Look, every speech this man gives, he have to sing out my name. But that's quite all right, because I know we're getting under his skin. With all his false promises, with all the fakings and the groundbreakings, with all of those things, nobody believes Gaston Brown anymore. And if he couldn't give any assistance during the good times, how is it now all of a sudden he coming to tell you he's going to build a new Jerusalem for you? He couldn't do anything for you. Heartless. Not caring about the people of this country. Not caring about the workers who were sent home. Not caring about the small business people whose businesses were closed. About the landlords who couldn't collect their rent. No lifeline, no assistance from this administration. And meanwhile, Antiguans were looking to St. Kitts, and they wonder how Antigua people bad luck it so for end up with Gaston Brown. Because in St. Kitts, they were able to take care of their people, when in Antigua, they left you for suck sal. So with all that has been taking place, brothers and sisters, he had a budget, and not once did he mention anything about the cost of living and the impact it is having on the lives of people. I tell you, as we go around, I'm sure all of you know it. Everybody complaining about the cost of living. I'm not saying that we are the cause, and you heard me speak about that last week, but a government cannot just sit down and say we can do nothing. You must do something, and we put on the table measures that we would take in order to help to ease the cost of living. And I want to repeat, because when we say we would reduce import duties on food, we mean it. And we know it can be done. Because we know that it will take measures from a caring government in order to make things better. But one of the issues that we must address is the question of a national minimum wage. Now I can tell you, the last time there was a review of the national minimum wage was in 2013 under the United Progressive Party government. And the commission, which was set up under the Antigua Labor Code, they made recommendations. And the main recommendation was that the minimum wage should move from $7.50 to $8.30. And that was implemented almost 2 years after the recommendation, which came just before the general elections of 2014. It took this uncaring administration almost 2 years to implement the national minimum wage at the increased level. But we say, people are feeling the hurt. And there is no way, there is no fair system where you can get up at 6:30, where you can have to catch bus. You go to the workplace, you get in there for 7, you leave your children in bed, you work round the clock almost, and when your paycheck come at the end of the month, you're still struggling to pay your rent. You're still struggling to meet your basic payments. You're still out there trying to make ends meet. That cannot be right. Can that be right, brothers and sisters? He is telling you nothing is wrong with the cost of living. What planet is he living on? Is anything wrong with the cost of living? You tell me. It's too high. And we have to do something about it. And we say not only will we attack the prices, but we're also going to make sure that we have a review of the national minimum wage, because the last time was in 2013, and after 8 years, everything gone up. Goods in the supermarket gone up. Medicine gone up. Everything gone up. Did somebody say meat kind gone up? Everything gone up. And I want to say that a UPP administration, this is an issue that we're going to take very seriously. And I want each of you to understand the importance of what we're saying. Because we cannot have our people suffering like this and simply say that nothing can be done. And I want to say to my people in St. John City East, help is on the way. I know the pain you feel. I know how it is when you run your little hairdresser shop and you can't make it because a government is there that is not caring about you. I know what it's like when you have your little trade and you're working in whatever field of construction and you still can't make it. You're working hard and you still can't make it. Something is wrong with that. And any government that looks at that situation and says it can do nothing, it's time for that government to go. And when we said, and last week when I said that we would take the measures that I took, that I mentioned, reducing the cost at the port, They say it can't be done. But I want you to remember, before 2004, when we said we'd raise the pensions, they said it couldn't be done, but we did it. When we said we would introduce the school meals program, they said it couldn't be done, but we did it. When we said we would introduce the school meals program, they said it couldn't be done, but we did it. And all the programs that we introduced, that they are today boasting about, that is the work of the United Progressive Party. So what to them appears to be impossible, under the United Progressive Party, it is possible. Let me hear your hands, man. Let me hear you. And when we talk about that we are going to commission the National Minimum Wage Commission, we also are going to take a holistic approach, because we are also going to engage the business community, because we believe that we have to look at the cost of doing business in Antigua, because all of that contributes to the high cost of living. I can tell you, for example, to handle a 20-foot container in Antigua, the charge that you have to pay is $750 US. Go to St. Lucia. The charge for a 20-foot, not 40-foot. Sorry, in St. Lucia, the price that you pay for a 40-foot container, so in Antigua, 20-foot container are $750 US. In St. Lucia, a 40-foot container is $350 US. That's reality. So when you're talking about cost of living, these are things that we have to look at. But when we talk about making Antigua competitive and creating a packaging, processing, and light manufacturing center outside of the port, this is something we had in our 2014 manifesto. And we said that we are going to aggressively go to get new shipping lines to come to Antigua. But how can you bring new shipping lines to Antigua when you have the most expensive costs? These are things that a UPP administration will address, so that not only will it have the effect of softening the increasing cost of living, it will also make Antigua a competitive destination where we can bring more ships to this country. I also want to say, brothers and sisters, that we believe that other measures that we can use for businesses that have kept workers on, that's very important, and we have to recognize that. That those business places, many of them, they had to stretch. Many of them, their overdraft was too much, and they kept on their workers. We believe we should give some credit to those employers, because we want to link tax concessions, tax breaks, and other benefits to the amount of jobs you create and the retention of jobs in your business, so that we incentivize those employers who keep their workers on and help the families to survive. I say, brothers and sisters, that we have always had a vision to make Antigua and Barbuda a center for aviation excellence. And we're going to do that. That's a vision to transform Antigua. We talk about the port. We're going to transform Antigua. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you that the UPP is the right choice. The UPP will show you how it can be done. And we do it by putting our people first.
The United Progressive Party. The right choice.